Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Today I have a Valentine's Day special for you. But to tell you the story, we got to go back in time, back to when I was in Beaumont, 2006, 2008. You know, in Beaumont, the homosexual stuff was more prevalent, was more out in the open. I mean, it happened, homosexuality happens in every penitentiary across the United States. But I've done most of my time in California. And it happens out there too. Lompoc, Victorville, Atwater. But out west, in the USP, it's more low key, it's more in the shadows, or in this case, more in the cell. But in Beaumont, you know, the homosexuals, they had their own car. You know, when I call them punks or boys or whatever, it's not to be disrespectful to them, but that's just the slang that we have for them. But these homosexuals, they had their own car, they had their own place in the kitchen where they eat. They got a place where they kick it on the yard, and they're always together, so you're not gonna miss it. You know, when the reality hit me was when one of these days I came on the compound, I'm walking through yard 2, and there were sheets on top of the table tied up. You know, like if you were gonna have a powwow, a get together, and there was all these food, chips, cookies, snacks, homemade food, whatever, on the table. And it was like 3 tables full of food. And you know, my thought was like, damn, they're having a big ass party today. But one of the norteños that was walking with me, his youngster's like, nah, that's a wedding reception. You know, when you say wedding reception, I know somebody got married, but I'm thinking somebody got married with the girl on the streets. Because, you know, when you're in the penitentiary, you can get married. You file some paperwork, and the chaplain will set a date for you and your girlfriend to come and get married in the chapel. You can invite 2 of your homeboys to come as witness to the ceremony and whatnot. So that's what I assumed when he said, oh, so-and-so got married. I'm like, oh yeah, who's this girl? He's like, nah, he got married to Johnny. I said, Johnny who? It's like, North Carolina Johnny. And I told you this story earlier when I was doing my Beaumont series. Johnny was a dude from North Carolina that I used to play basketball with. And, you know, the whole time I'm playing ball with him, I didn't see that in him. And I never knew that he swung that way until this particular day when they told me he got married on the basketball court to some DC dude, and some other DC dude presided over them to do the vow exchange and ceremony and stuff. Well, anyway, you know, when we're in Beaumont, when you come off the bus, you got to walk through this walkway. You know, it's got fence on both sides between yard 2 and yard 3. Yard 2 is the one with the gun tower. But when you come off the bus and you're walking through that, everybody in the yard can see who's coming, can see you. And they run up to the fence and hit you up. Hey, where you from, homie? Who you run with, this and that. And also the dudes that come off the bus, they're declaring themselves like, man, what's up? Where the Bloods at? I'm a Blood. Where's the Bloods at? Or I'm a Crip. Where the Cuz at? You know, Vice Lord, GDs, whatever. They're declaring themselves, letting them know, hey, I run with this. Where they at? And the people come and holler at them. Either they embrace them or they X them out, however that goes. But at the same time, while I was there, you know, there was people getting raped, people getting turned out. So me and my homies, we have a thing, like when people come off the bus, we watch the line that's filing through, and we would pick out to see who's gonna get raped and how long before they get raped or before they get turned out. In Beaumont, if you got any swing in your hips, if you got any sugar in your tank, if you ain't already been turned out, you're getting turned out and you're getting raped. Well, this story is about this Carolina dude. I think he's from North Carolina. He comes off the bus. He wasn't one of the guys that we betted on. You know, when he came off the bus, he was skinny. he had dreads, he had a scruffy beard. So he didn't walk like he was a girl, nothing like that. So he bypassed us. We didn't even pay him no mind. But like a few days later, not even a week, we see that he's clean shaven. You know, in the penitentiary, when you shave, you gotta leave some hair on your face. If you shave everything off, we call it booty face. You know, like smooth like a baby's bottom. And the only people that shave like that on a regular, for us, it seems like we take it as this dude's trying to catch. He's trying to send some subliminal message to whoever it is that he's with the program. You know, the only time I ever shave is when my wife comes and visit me, or when my family comes and visit me. And even then, you know, I just trim my shit down to a 2 or a 1. You know, not everybody that shaves their face clean is trying to catch somebody. But that's the perception when you're walking around the yard with no hair on your face. Well, this guy with the dreads, about 4 or 5 days later after he come off the bus, he's out there playing basketball with us with shorts on. Like, he ain't got no shorts, girly shorts. He's not walking around swinging his hips or being flamboyant with his hands or anything. But on his legs, he's got tattoos of like little moons and stars, and I don't want to say hearts because I'm not sure if he had hearts on there either, but he had like little moons and stars tattooed in spots all down his legs and stuff. So seeing that, I'm like, well, maybe, you know, because before I got to Beaumont, I wasn't conscious of all these extra stuff that was going on around me. But being in Beaumont and everything was so wide open with the homosexuality stuff that you have to start, you know, absorbing that information and being aware of it, because these homosexuals can get you killed. Like, maybe you're not into it, but if one of these punks likes you and is trying to holler at you, but his punk's got a man, his man's gonna get jealous and come and butcher you. So, you know, I make it a custom that I don't even have a conversation with them. I don't do business with them. I don't have nothing against them. I don't have nothing against homosexuality. I don't care who you love. I don't care how you swing. It don't matter to me. But being in the penitentiary, I mind my P's and Q's, and I stay away from things that can get me caught up. You know, I don't have any problems with dealing them on man time, shaking their hand or anything. If we conduct business or we have a conversation just on the fly, because I'm not just going to brush you off and not talk to you because you're a punk or whatever, but I'm not going out of my way to have any type of interactions with you. But so when I see this dude out here wearing shorts, you know, and these little moons and stars on his legs, I asked my homie, I was like, damn, isn't that dude that we just seen came off the bus? They're like, damn, you ain't here? Man, he got raped. The DCs ran up on him and pulled a train on him. But it wasn't against his will. The one that turned him out was, I don't know if he turned him out, if he was already there and just, you know, just came. I don't even know if he's already got raped or got turned out in another penitentiary or whatever. But the story goes that there was this New Orleans dude named Speedy P that first turned him out or first pulled him or whatever. But Speedy P was in debt to the DCs. So to pay off his debt, he sold that Carolina dude to the DC. And the homie Rudy, on his way out to the yard one day, was telling me that there was a skinny dude was telling this other DC dude named Joe that, oh man, the homie's out there pulling a train on this dude. Man, that dude got some good ass. I'm getting out there to go get me some more. What's up, Slim? You trying to join? You know, or something to that. I'm not saying it verbatim because it's secondhand knowledge. But these type of conversation in Beaumont was out in the wide open. Nobody was hiding it. Nobody was ashamed of it. It was just an everyday routine, an everyday part of life in Beaumont. And when I speak on the DCs and the homosexuality and the things that they do in there, by no means am I trying to slander them or disparage their character or anything. The stories I share you involving the people that I share that I share are just the facts, or just what happened while I was there. In Beaumont, they had the Florida boys, Texas dudes, Carolina dudes, DC dudes, the TS. They had like groups of predators within each of those people that are waiting for dudes to come off the bus to turn them out or to get them on their team or whatever. You know, like I shared with you in a particular night, there's a black dude named Flowers that come on the compound. And we're on the softball field just kicking it, but we noticed the dude Flowers, now him, you could tell that he's a homosexual. But he's walking around the track with 3 or 4 dudes. They hit a lap, then the 3 or 4 dudes with them, they veer off, and another group of 3 or 4 dudes hit a lap with them. And I'm like, man, what's going on with that? And the homie was telling me, oh, they're trying to make the bitch choose. So there was a group of Florida, group of Carolinas, group of TS, group of Texas dudes, and DC dudes in their little pack trying to holler at this dude named Flowers and having her choose to see who she want to be with so they don't end up butchering each other over it. Well, anyway, this DC dude, the skinny DC dude, that was telling Joe that dude had some good, that Carolina dude had some good ass, ended up marrying him. Like, when I say married, like I told you before, they're on the handball court, basketball court, with invitations, with their homies there and everything, exchanging vows, exchanging a ring, the whole 9, with a reception party afterwards and everything. But I wasn't there. I didn't see the wedding go down, and I'm not conscious of who this DC dude is or who this North Carolina dude is. How I got hip to it was one day I'm on the handball court, and we're playing handball with my homeboy SP. He's from the Bay Area, I think Frisco to be exact. And we're playing handball, but there's a skinny DC dude and a short DC dude with the Carolina dude behind us. And I can hear the short dude talking. And it appeared to me that he was mediating between the two couple. Listen, I wasn't trying to be ear hustling or paying attention to their conversation, but the handball court, there's a little short fence, about waist high that separates the handball court and the basketball court, and they're right behind us talking, and they're not keeping it quiet. Like I said, in Beaumont, there's no shame in the game. So he's like, man, you guys are married. You guys are husband and wife. And plus, today's Valentine's Day. You got to, kiss and make up. It's Valentine's Day, Me and SP, we looked at each other. We're like, hold up. Are you hearing what I just heard? And we're like, man, this shit is wild. And that North Carolina dude, he used to go out visits all the time. And my homie Rudy, he's from Texas, so he gets a lot of visits over there. And when he goes out to visit, he tells me, man, that dude's got a pretty ass wife and a son. But the Carolina dude, he'd go out to a visit dressed like a girl. And his wife was like, babe, like, what are you doing? What's going on? And the Carolina dude, they gave him a nickname, they call him Brandy. Like the singer Brandy, like all these punks, they give him Monica, Brandy, Flower, Maggie. The list goes on and on and on with whatever the names they give him. But he was telling his wife, like, to go ahead and move on with his life and move on with her life, to find somebody else, because he found someone and he's in love. And Rudy sitting next to him, like he said, he wasn't trying to hear the conversation, but they placed him in the visiting room right next to each other, because the visiting room is just a big old space, and they got little short tables and chairs, and you're just right next to each other, and they just fill the rows up as you come out to the visit. You can't pick where you want to sit or anything like that. But he was looking like, damn, what the hell is this dude doing? He's got a pretty ass wife and a kid. He's in love with a DC dude in Beaumont, all right? So on the day that I'm playing handball, the day that I overheard this conversation that I wasn't trying to hear, that I can never, ever erase from my memory bank, the little dude was mediating between the two of them because I guess they've been having a little lover's quarrel. But I guess they made up, they kissed and made up. When they called recall, I guess the Carolina dude was just coming from education because he had some books with him. So when they called recall and we had to leave the yard and return to the unit, the DC dude was carrying his book and walking him to the unit. And when I seen that scene right there, it kind of reminded me of high school when you got a girl that you like and you're trying to walk her to class, you grab her books and walk her to class. And I'm just like, but it's off because one, there's no girls, two, we're not in high school, and we're in a penitentiary with all dudes. But that's my Valentine's story to share with you today. Happy Valentine's, everybody. And like I said, man, I don't care who you love. That's on you. Life is hard enough as it is. And doing it by yourself is even harder. So it's a blessing to have somebody that loves you and care about you, to have your back and help you through this journey we call life. So if you haven't done it throughout the rest of the year, or you don't do it often enough, take time today to tell your significant other, your partner, that you love them. But not just today, but always. Happy Valentine's. Welcome to the USP.